One with it is attacking. Two is ideal. Three is danger. Okay, we'll go. That's good. Then I leave it to you to answer. One is lacking, two is ideal, three is dangerous. What is it? The answer is a secret. The answer is a seesaw. How should I know? Oh. How should I know? I can actually put that in. Anyways, seesaw? Something that has to deal with two people, but dangerous with three. Oh, it's a seesaw. Wise's mouth flew open, but before he could say anything, the word suddenly shifted. Reen, wah. Reen, wah. Oh, God. He was surrounded by insects. Insects were creating words he had heard somewhere before. Oh, I guess I answered it wrong. Secret? Then it began. The forest undergrowth parted before the like a rippling wave. Okay, so I was wrong. The arthropods are making a road for us. Pleased at passing the test, Z moved on with a new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but it gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Don't mistake the will of the forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. You have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, he picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface. Good heavens! His surprise was untenable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. Enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Shadow. A bird, a letter. Oh no, sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I have never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look! There's a house or something over there. And glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it? Weiss? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Zircon walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Z, but before he could get any further, the cloaked man held up a hand and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Human. Or a man. The mist dissolved from the cloak. That one I remember. That one I remember all too well, because I've had that actually given to me multiple times in other games. The mist dissolved from the cloaked. I can't recall what games. I just know I was cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mirror. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what does that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Death Dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Zircon watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Z and Weiss returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught on sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy! Gravy! You made it! You actually made it back! His left hand grasped Zircon's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Weiss by the cover and swung him through the air. God, by the heavens, stop shaking me, you fool! We have not even told you if it was successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd see you again. Z withdrew himself from the mayor. We broke the Death Dream's seal. At least, I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Z filled him in on the details. And when the tale was done, the three of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Z cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless battle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. As the mayor patiently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? It is words that control the Death Dream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy. What is this? They're breathing slow. This is the first time. Oh my god. Okay, this is actually kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. The first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here. The words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they woke, things had slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from the dream. As he shook the mayor's shoulders gently, good news! I think we made it. Oh, wow. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The Death Dream was spreading through our village and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. Must have caught the disease and became trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Z and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to. You shall relearn in short order. Sure. No, I can't. Now some of the villagers still trapped in the Death Dream had to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. The holy tree. It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition may only make our harder. We should not put our faith in the gods. Not the gods, the words. The legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Nani? I say, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Z mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left with them. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into a space for a long moment. You know? It's going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Zircon tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the Death Dream. Probably doesn't mean anything. Zircon gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly, his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and what exactly is going on here. The riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Some voice acting.
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
Oh, really?
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
Raise this now. because I thought I was gonna need it, because I wasn't sure if it was gonna repeat. So it was just in case precaution.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Dark Execution. When summon magical spikes from the ground to impale enemies, charge to increase the number of spikes.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
Anyways. Does it have magic power? Yes, please. Item trait. Ooh, I kind of want to get that. Oh god. Ethan's listening to some country. Little bro's listening to country. Okay, let's save it. We're gonna save all these people.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
And to the villager's dream?
Can't
Yes.
say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sorta creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
That's normally your case.
Yeah.
Alright, breath of air into the death resist the urge to laugh for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My prison is tucked beneath a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sound of a eternal dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is the forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, and eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say, "My savior." I claw at the door of my jail, embedded in thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of the gods, help me. Possibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I just enough time to see a silver-haired boy and a floating book before the light pours inside. My accustomed to blackness explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands, uncovering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire of Vice. This is Zircon. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Zircon extends his hand, pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever. I recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. Never thought to hear that again. Would that at this were not such a terrible storm. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and slapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we don't make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, the long-forgotten friend, had made itself known again. I nodded my hand and swore to save my rescuer, no matter the cost. The castle's catacombs are a maze, twist upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. Going down the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and shifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns that I fall to my knees and weep. corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I looked from it to the beds and back again until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. Make a sound, whether scream or laughter I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving the most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors, proceed east. North. East again. At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for company. Waterlogged red powder squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains, and this is the moment I saw. This one splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. Or if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonizing screams that must have sprung forth from their mouth. My mind grasped frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was punishment. Though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There will be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. Let's go down the dim corridors. North. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself the effort. In tandem with Z and Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. Oh, did I make it? The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west, I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain of my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. A dress? Asks Vice. Then you are a woman, madame? I am. I proffer the two a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing as how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Z is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. And the castle's dead have awakened to their new life. Days.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
Thank you so much for saving me. I never want to have a dream like that again.
Agreed. I think I got lucky on that. Not gonna lie, I think I got lucky on that. I mean absolutely lucky.
And another victim.
I figured
Even I have my...
A colony of massive sculptures was visible to the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and he had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. He nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in his place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Z light-headed. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke? No, this is no joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it as in this way might make it easier for you to hear. God, this music is great. Z glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, his feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. And we're definitely getting closer. Yes, this much is certain. Courage as he lifted his gaze. Suddenly, he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes open and his finger pointing in the distance. Water, he cried. It's water. Water? Preposterous. I don't see any water. Over there, just ahead of... Oh, it's a mirage. Look, the sun is reflecting off of it. But waiting for a response, he sprang to life and bounded toward the sight. What the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Z closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated. This is getting. Oh God. Sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as mirage. Yes, thank you. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. So he shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait, there it is. I just missed it. Look, it's right there. He sprinted off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. For a few minutes of running, he came to a halt. I could have sworn it was right here. Confused, he put his hands to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, the blue shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off and surfed. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an exasperated Vice finally floated up to the sea and struck him in the face with his cover. Enough, you blithering idiot! Stop this at once! There is no water here. His face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much. Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have a ride in the city of art. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge. They're huge. Giggity. I've never seen anything so big. Even more giggity. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape. A tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with planes of glass that reflect light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. What kind of city is this? Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails. This is a lot of reading. I was not expecting to be reading this much in Nier, for crying out loud. Good God. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass and brick. Many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or a purpose of the abstract works around them, Z and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Z uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one Beta, one Gamma. Doot. Alpha, Beta, Gamma. As Z moved to touch the nearest statue, bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures, alighting on the statue's shoulder. It emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. With that, the bird departed. As if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. Oh no. Now without actual visual representation, it's gotta go in word. Oh. Hey, look at that. They're alive. The triplets bowed low before. Pleased. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Stop lying. Alpha is a fake. You know, I'm the real one. What a load of crap. Beta is a fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here. Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues turned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. When you consider all the statements, only one of them could be the real thing. Z furrowed his eyebrows and considered his answer. Only one form is real. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. Can I have those words again? Okay, so please, you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Alpha's a fake. You know I am. Beta is a fake. Everyone knows the only real one around here. I'm the only one. I'm the only real one around here. It can't be that. The eerily light, the light grew stronger and stronger until Z and Weiss forced to turn away.
It would seem we'd best act more careful. And another.
I figured a book like you would be into all this work.
Even I have my exception.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'd best. And another.
I figured.
Even I have my.
Those buildings must be. What?
I see. You know what? I'm gonna choose the wrong one again.
Yeah.
We'd best.
And as a just in case, if something was screwed up, I'm gonna reload.